So as I was driving on a rainy monsoon Saturday, I got to thinking about all those proud FPSers out there, proclaiming their elite skills. Webster's defines skill as this: the ability to use one's knowledge effectively and readily in execution or performance. Dexterity or coordination, especially in the execution of learned physical tasks. Or a learned power of doing something competently, a developed aptitude or ability. So I find it amusing when I hear gamers attributing their accomplishments to it. I can understand the confusion. After all, as gamers, we spend countless hours honing our abilities so we can trounce our opposition. Notice I didn't go so far as to say the word skills. Skill and ability are two different things. Abilities can be natural or learned, but they're less tangible than a skill. Think of it this way: I may be able to do something, but not have the skill to do it with any competency. Playing a game does not constitute anything outside of recreation. Nowhere do you see the word recreation used as a synonym to the word skill. Don't get me wrong, recreation is important, but nobody gets paid for it. Even professional athletes have to possess real skills. Those skills may be tied to doing for profit what most of us do for fun, but demand far more effort than any video game. Skills usually have to have some degree of value to the real world. They come only after some degree of training and commitment. For example, when you hear someone talk about unskilled labor, they're talking about jobs that require no special training or experience to complete. In the world of gaming, we do invest a lot of time learning the ins and outs of the games we play, but rather than skill, most of our success is dependent on our familiarity with how the game works. Well, you might say, that's skill right there. I learned how to play the game well, and now I have the skill to do it. Except your context is wrong. Take the following sentence: I am skilled at playing Battlefield 3, which is exactly the same as saying, I am skilled at watching television. Looks kind of ridiculous, doesn't it? And it is. When someone possesses a skill, it means they have the ability to use their knowledge and training to accomplish a task, usually for a fee. It can also be used in other contexts. Just as a skilled welder can work on anything from the family car to a warship, his skill has value beyond a single context. In the gaming world, being good in one game doesn't mean you'll be good in another, even if it's in the same genre. Most learning involves some level of repetition, which is how most of us learned our ABCs. Knowing our ABCs is a result of repetition, not skill. So it is with gaming. We can get bored with a game that we know all the ins and outs of. It's impossible to be bored with a skill. Once we have it forever. We can choose to improve it or let it languish, but we still retain it nonetheless. The context of a video game is a tightly controlled sandbox with little variation regardless of the players involved. If skill were truly involved, a high-ranking player would never be beaten by one of less rank, yet it happens all the time. What you accomplish in a video game has no more value than how many more beers you can drink than your friends. Being an accomplished marksman in Battlefield 3 is not the same as being one on the shooting range. It takes far more effort and training to acquire the real versus the perceived competency. I realize it's a gray area, but it's important to know the difference between real versus imagined skills. I'd hate for any dedicated gamer to find out the hard way that being a skilled game player was not the same thing as being a skilled game developer.